The galaxy had stopped fighting a long time ago. No one remembered the last true war. Great empires rose and fell, but none dared to resist the Dominion. The Dominion did not need massive battles. Its fleets appeared in the sky, and worlds surrendered before the first shot. Cities powered down, governments signed treaties, flags were lowered. Fear did the work. Resistance was history. The Dominion believed this was order. The galaxy believed survival meant obedience. Thousands of worlds lived under this rule. They paid tribute. They sent resources. They sent silence. No planet stood alone, because standing alone meant death. That was the law of the stars. Then the Dominion fleets entered the Sol system, a small yellow star. 8 planets, 1 inhabited world, Earth. The Dominion classified Earth in seconds: primitive, divided, weak, no unified galactic defense, no known allies, no threat. The fleet commander barely looked at the report. Earth would surrender like all the others. They always did. Ships moved into position around the system. Weapons stayed cold. There was no need to fire. Long-range transmitters sent the standard message in thousands of languages. This system is now under Dominion control. Power down all defenses. Kneel, and you will be spared. On Earth, governments panicked. Satellites filled the sky with alien metal. News channels stopped broadcasting. Military leaders argued. Some wanted to fight. Most knew it was useless. The Dominion had crushed worlds stronger than Earth, without effort. Human leaders prepared the surrender message. History was about to repeat itself. Then something changed. Dominion sensors detected movement near the outer edge of the system. A single object, artificial, massive, fast. The fleet commander frowned. Identify, he ordered. The sensors struggled. The object did not match any known design. No Dominion signature, no Allied signature, no pirate markers. It was a ship. One ship, a human vessel. An officer asked. The commander laughed. Impossible. Humans have no ship that large. But the data kept updating. The ship was real. It was moving toward the Dominion fleet. Alone, no escorts, no fleet behind it. The ship did not run. It did not hide. It moved straight forward, slow and steady, like it had all the time in the universe. The Dominion sent a direct command. Unidentified vessel, power down and identify yourself. No response. They tried again. Louder, more aggressive. Still nothing. The human ship crossed into Dominion-controlled space. That alone was an act of defiance. Dominion ships powered up their weapons. The mood on the command deck changed from boredom to confusion. Perhaps it is a mistake, one officer said. A malfunctioning human craft. The commander watched the display. The ship's hull was dark, smooth, and scarred. It looked old, not damaged, scarred, like it had survived battles. The ship slowed and stopped, directly in front of the Dominion formation, close enough that weapons could hit instantly. Still no response. The commander felt something unfamiliar, not fear, unease. He ordered a scan. The scan failed. Systems returned errors. Unknown energy fields interfered with sensors. Impossible. The science officer whispered. Fire. A warning shot. The commander said. A Dominion cruiser fired a low-power beam. It struck empty space near the human ship. The human ship did not move, did not react, did not care. Silence filled the command deck. Then the human ship transmitted a signal. Not in one language, not in many. It was simple, clean, translated instantly by every system. It was not long. It was not loud. It said this far, no further. The bridge went silent. They refused to kneel. An officer said. The commander's eyes narrowed. All worlds kneel. The Dominion sent the final message. This system belongs to us. You will surrender or be destroyed. The human ship powered up. Slowly, calmly. No sudden moves. No panic. Energy levels rose across the hull. Weapons came online, but not in any pattern the Dominion understood. There was no fear in the ship's signal. No anger, just certainty. On Earth, sensors detected the human ship for the first time. Military leaders stared in disbelief. No one had ordered this. No nation claimed it. The ship did not answer Earth's calls either. It was not protecting Earth because it was ordered to. It was there because it chose to be. The Dominion fleet prepared to fire. Hundreds of ships locked targets on the lone vessel. One command would end it. One command would erase it from space. The human ship did not retreat. It did not raise shields. It did not send another message. The commander hesitated. For the first time in his long career, he did not understand his enemy, and for the first time in generations, the galaxy watched something new, a world that had not surrendered yet, a ship that refused to kneel. The order to fire was about to be given, and somewhere inside the Dominion fleet, a quiet thought spread like a crack in metal. What if this one ship was enough? The Dominion fleet waited for the order. Weapons were locked. Power levels climbed across hundreds of ships. One command would turn the lone human vessel into dust. The commander studied the silent ship on the screen. It did not move. It did not speak. It simply remained there, blocking the path to Earth. No world had ever done this before. The commander sent the kneel command again. This time it was not a warning. It was a demand. Unidentified human vessel. You will submit now. Power down. Lower your weapons. Kneel. The message echoed across space. Every translation system delivered it perfectly. The human ship answered. Not with words. The ship's engines shifted. Space around it bent slightly, like air above fire. Energy readings spiked, then stabilized. Not chaotic. Controlled. Calm. The Dominion science officers spoke fast. Voices tight. We cannot classify the power source. Weapon systems are unknown. Their shields do not match any known field. The commander felt irritation rise. It is still one ship, he said. Numbers decide wars. The human ship finally transmitted again. A single voice. Human. Clear. No emotion. The voice said, "We do not kneel." The words spread across Dominion channels. Officers exchanged looks. Some laughed nervously. Others felt something cold in their chests. No one had ever refused so directly. The commander responded, anger sharp in his tone. "You face the Dominion. You stand alone. This is your final chance." The human voice replied instantly, "We are never alone." The Dominion took that as a bluff. The commander raised his clawed hand. Fire. A line of light tore through space. The first shot was meant to cripple, not destroy. It struck the human ship directly. The blast faded. The human ship was still there. No damage, no shield flare, no reaction. The command deck erupted in alarms. Sensors screamed errors. Target locks failed. Fire again. The commander shouted. Multiple ships fired. Beams, missiles, energy waves. The attacks hit the human vessel from every angle. Space filled with light. When it cleared, the ship remained. The hull glowed faintly, then returned to normal. The scars along its surface were unchanged. The human voice returned. "That was your warning." Before the commander could respond, the human ship moved. It did not rush. It did not dodge. It advanced. One weapon system powered up along its spine. Not large, not loud, just steady. The Dominion did not detect a firing sequence. The weapon fired anyway. A single pulse crossed the distance and touched a Dominion cruiser. The cruiser vanished. Not exploded, not broken, gone. Space folded inward where it had been, then snapped back into place. Silence filled the command deck. No debris. No survivors. The galaxy saw it live. The commander stared at the empty space where a warship had existed moments before. His confidence cracked. Impossible, someone whispered. The human ship did not celebrate. It did not speak again. It waited. The Dominion fleet shifted formation. Fear spread through officers trained to feel none. One ship had erased a Dominion cruiser with ease. Not luck, not surprise, precision. The commander forced his voice steady. "Focus fire. All weapons. Destroy it." The fleet obeyed. Hundreds of ships unleashed everything they had. The human ship raised its shields. This time, the galaxy saw them. A smooth, dark field wrapped the vessel. Dominion weapons struck and faded like rain against stone. Energy levels on the human ship barely changed. Then the ship fired again. 2 pulses. 2 more Dominion ships disappeared. Panic spread. Orders overlapped. Formation broke. The human ship spoke once more. "Leave this system." The commander's pride burned. Retreat was unthinkable. The Dominion did not retreat. "You will be destroyed," he said. But his voice lacked strength. The human voice answered softly. "We know." The ship advanced again. Closer now. Too close. Dominion weapons lost accuracy. Sensors failed completely. The human ship moved like it understood their systems better than they did. On Earth, humans watched in silence. No one cheered. No one spoke. Fear mixed with awe. That ship was human, but it was not theirs. It did not follow orders. It followed purpose. The Dominion commander realized the truth too late. This was not a defense ship. It was not a patrol vessel. It was a message. The human ship powered another system, larger, slower. Space trembled around it. The commander opened a channel to the Central Empire. "Request immediate reinforcements," he said. "This vessel is not normal." The response was delayed. Then came calm words. "Hold position. One ship cannot change the galaxy." The commander looked at the display, at the scars on the human hull, at the calm way it waited. The human ship sent its final transmission for this encounter. The galaxy learned to kneel because no one said no. The weapon reached full charge. The voice finished. "That ends today." The Dominion fleet prepared for a battle it had never trained for, and the galaxy watched, realizing too late that resistance had just returned. The galaxy expected the human ship to die. Dominion fleets had erased entire civilizations with less effort. One ship, no matter how strong, could not stand against an empire. That was what history said. That was what everyone believed. The Dominion commander gave the order without hesitation. "All ships, fire without limit." The void exploded with light, beams, missiles, energy storms. Space itself seemed to burn. The human ship vanished behind layers of fire and distortion. Observers across the galaxy believed it was over. When the light faded, the ship was still there. Its shields flickered once, then stabilized. Power levels remained steady. The scars on its hull glowed faintly, like old wounds remembering past wars. The command deck of the Dominion flagship fell into chaos. Officers shouted reports. Target locks failed. Sensors returned nothing but static. Adjust frequency. Increase. Output. Fire again. Nothing worked. The human ship, advanced, slow, calm, unafraid, it moved through the storm of weapons as if space itself bent to protect it. The ship fired. A Dominion destroyer vanished. Then another. Each shot was precise. No waste. No warning. Ships disappeared in silence. Panic spread through the fleet. Formation broke. Command, discipline collapsed. The commander felt something cold grip him. He had faced rebels before. Pirates, rogue fleets. None had made him feel this way. This was different. This ship was not fighting to win. It was fighting to prove a point. The human ship transmitted again. "You chose force. We accept." The Dominion launched fighter wings by the hundreds. Small, fast ships swarmed toward the human vessel from all sides. They fired continuously, hoping numbers would succeed where power failed. The human ship changed tactics. Its hull opened in segments. Smaller weapons emerged. Defensive systems activated. Fighters vanished in bursts of light. Some collided with invisible fields and shattered. Others simply lost power and drifted away, silent and dead. The galaxy watched in disbelief. A single ship was dismantling an armada built to crush stars. On Earth, military analysts stared at their screens. This technology was human, but far beyond anything they knew. It was not new. It was refined, tested, used before. Many asked the same question. Who had humans been fighting before this? The Dominion commander ordered a retreat line, then stopped himself. Retreat would signal weakness. Weakness invited rebellion across the galaxy. He chose escalation. The flagship powered its core weapon, a planet killer beam, used only twice in Dominion history. Entire worlds had vanished under its light. Energy gathered. Space warped. The human ship did not move. The commander fired. The beam struck the human vessel head-on. For a moment, nothing could be seen. Sensors went blind. Communications cut out. When vision returned, the galaxy held its breath. The human ship remained. It had been pushed back slightly. Its shields dimmed, then flared bright. New energy patterns appeared, adjusting, learning. The human voice returned, calm as before. "We warned you." The ship powered a new system, one the Dominion had not seen yet. Space around the ship darkened. Stars seemed to dim. The commander screamed orders, but it was too late. The weapon fired, not outward, inward. Space collapsed in front of the human ship. A controlled singularity formed, small but violent. It tore through the Dominion formation. Ships were pulled apart, hulls twisted, energy cores detonated. The singularity collapsed, leaving silence. Thousands of Dominion lives were gone in seconds. The galaxy trembled. Systems that had never known war felt fear for the first time. The human ship stopped firing. It waited again. The Dominion fleet was broken, not destroyed, but shattered. Survivors drifted, engines failed. weapons offline. The commander stared at the wreckage. His empire had lost more ships in minutes than in decades. The human ship transmitted one final message: leave, or this continues. The Dominion commander knew the truth. This ship could destroy them all, and it was holding back. He ordered a withdrawal. Slowly, damaged ships turned away. Pride burned, but survival mattered more today. For the first time in history, the Dominion retreated. The human ship did not pursue. It did not chase fleeing enemies. It remained between Earth and the stars. On distant worlds, citizens watched and felt something dangerous awaken hope. If one ship could resist, maybe others could too. On Earth, leaders realized something terrifying and beautiful. Humanity had not been weak. It had been patient. The human ship turned slightly, facing the wider galaxy. Its presence was no longer a question. It was a declaration. The galaxy had learned a new truth. An empire could bleed. A single ship could change history, and the war had only just begun. The galaxy did not sleep after the battle. News of the Dominion retreat spread faster than any fleet ever could. Systems that had never known hope replayed the footage again and again. A single human ship standing against an empire. Dominion warships vanishing like mist. The impossible had happened, and it could not be undone. On worlds that had surrendered without a fight, leaders gathered in silence. They had knelt because they believed resistance was useless. Now that belief was breaking. Fear shifted shape. It no longer faced only the Dominion. It faced choice. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. Species that rarely spoke sat together, tense and afraid. Dominion representatives denied weakness. They claimed the retreat was strategic, temporary, but their voices lacked confidence. Everyone had seen the scars on the human ship. They were not marks of defeat. They were proof of survival. The Dominion High Command reacted with fury. Losing face was worse than losing ships. Orders were issued across controlled space. Fleets were recalled. Shipyards worked without rest. New weapons were rushed into service. This time, there would be no restraint. A second armada was formed, larger than the first, stronger, designed not to occupy Earth, but to erase it. The human ship remained near Earth. It did not chase the retreating fleet. It did not speak to the galaxy. It waited, silent, watching. On Earth, people argued about the ship. Some called it a guardian, others feared it. It did not answer human calls. It did not ask permission. It simply stayed. Military sensors showed its systems cycling calmly, like a creature at rest but ready to strike. Deep inside the ship, the captain watched incoming data, reports from across the galaxy. Rising fear, rising anger, rising hope. Humanity had broken the silence of the stars, and now the stars were listening. The captain sent no message, not yet. The Dominion's second fleet entered the system days later. This time, there was no demand to kneel, no warnings. They arrived with weapons hot and formations tight. Hundreds more ships filled the sky, planet killers, command carriers, new designs built to counter the human threat. The galaxy watched again. Worlds held their breath. Some prayed the human ship would run. Others prayed it would fight. The human ship moved forward to meet them. Alone again. Still alone, the Dominion opened fire instantly. The space between fleets burned. The human ship raised its shields. This time, they strained. Energy levels climbed. The galaxy saw, for the first time, that the ship was not invincible. The captain remained calm. Damage reports came in, controlled and acceptable. The ship returned fire. Precision strikes disabled command vessels, but the Dominion had learned. They adapted. Their formations shifted. Their weapons adjusted. The battle slowed, stretched, turned dangerous. This was not a message anymore. This was war. On the Galactic Council, panic erupted. If the human ship fell, the Dominion would punish every world that had dared to hope. Some representatives called for surrender again. Others argued for support. Fear and courage clashed in words, instead of weapons. The Dominion commander of the Second Fleet watched the battle carefully. He did not rush. He waited for weaknesses, and he saw it. The human ship's shield faltered for half a second. It was enough. The commander ordered a focused strike. Dozens of ships targeted one point. The attack hit hard. The human ship was pushed back. Whole damage appeared. Real damage. The galaxy gasped. Earth's leaders feared the worst. For the first time, the human ship transmitted again. Not to the Dominion. To the galaxy. We do not ask you to fight, the voice said. We ask you to remember. The Dominion commander laughed, and ordered the final push. End it. The human ship powered its core. Not weapons. Communications. A signal burst outward. Not loud, not violent. It carried data, proof, records of Dominion actions hidden for generations, destroyed worlds, enslaved species, lies erased by truth. The signal reached every corner of the Council, every neutral system, every frightened world. The galaxy changed in that moment. Ships that had never fired a weapon powered up defenses. Worlds that had stayed silent began to speak. The Dominion realized too late that fear could be broken without fire. The human ship's shields failed completely. The hull burned. Systems screamed. The captain stood firm. Now, he said, the ship activated its final reserve, a defensive field unlike anything seen before. Not strong, not permanent. Enough. The human ship survived the next wave, barely, but it had done its job. The galaxy was no longer alone. The Dominion fleet hesitated. For the first time, their attack slowed. Doubt crept in. If the galaxy rose together, the Empire would bleed. The human ship drifted, damaged but unbroken. Its presence still blocked the path to Earth and across the stars. Fear spread faster than fire. Not fear of the Dominion, but fear of what would happen if they did nothing. The galaxy listened after the signal. Worlds that had stayed silent for generations now knew the truth. The Dominion had not brought peace. It had brought quiet built on fear and erased history. The human ship's message spread like a slow-burning fire, reaching even the deepest controlled systems. Many leaders denied it at first. Accepting the truth meant admitting their kneeling had saved them at the cost of others. But the proof was clear. Records, images, coordinates of lost worlds, species erased without warning. The Dominion could not hide anymore. The human ship drifted near Earth, damaged but alive. Repair systems worked silently. No help came from Earth. None was needed. The ship had been built to survive alone. That fact unsettled human leaders more than the battle itself. The captain watched the galaxy react. Systems that had once paid tribute now delayed it. Patrols hesitated. Dominion commands were questioned. Small acts of defiance appeared everywhere. Not battles, delays, doubt, refusal. The Dominion High Command understood the danger. Fear could be controlled. Truth could not. They issued a new order. Total suppression. Any system that resisted would be made an example. Fleets moved. Worlds burned. The galaxy learned the cost of waking up. On Earth, governments demanded answers from the human ship. Who built it? Who commanded it? Why? It had never been revealed. The ship finally answered. A transmission sent only to Earth. Short, simple. We prepared because we remembered. The message included archives, humanity's own history, wars that nearly ended the species, cities destroyed, entire generations lost. Humans had learned early what unchecked power could do. They chose a different path. Not expansion, not conquest, preparation. Humanity had watched the stars quietly. They saw empires rise. They saw fear rule. And they decided that if the galaxy ever needed a line drawn, they would be ready. The human ship was not unique. It was a prototype, a guardian, one of many built in secret, hidden far from known space. Not an armada, a shield. The captain explained it simply. We did not want to rule the galaxy. We wanted to stop those who would hurt. The Dominion did not hear this message, but they felt its effects. More systems resisted. Small fleets vanished into hiding instead of reporting in. Supply lines weakened. The Dominion prepared its final answer. An ultimate weapon, built to end rebellion forever. A system not aimed at Earth, aimed at the idea of resistance itself. The weapon activated far from Sol. Space twisted, energy gathered. The galaxy felt it like pressure on the mind. If fired, entire star systems would be erased. Not conquered, removed. The human ship detected it instantly. Damage or not, it moved. Engines strained, hull groaned. The ship set course for interception. Alone again, the captain knew the truth. Even if the ship reached the weapon, it might not survive. But survival was not the mission. The mission was time. The Galactic Council finally acted. Emergency alliances formed. Defensive lines were drawn. Worlds that had never trusted each other shared data, shared weapons, shared fear and hope. The Dominion launched the weapon. The human ship arrived as space began to collapse. The weapon was larger than expected. Surrounded by layers of defense, fleets guarded it. This was not a battle. This was an execution. The human ship transmitted one message to the galaxy. This is why we prepared. Then it charged. The Dominion fleet fired everything. The human ship took hit after hit. Shields failed. Hull plates burned away. Systems shut down one by one. The captain did not retreat. The ship reached the weapons core. At point-blank range, it activated a final system. Not a weapon. A lock. Space froze around the device. Energy stalled. The weapon could not fire. It could not shut down. It was trapped. The human ship began to break apart. The price was being paid. The captain sent one last message. You do not need us forever. You just need to stand now. The signal spread. The council fleets arrived moments later. United, angry, ready. The Dominion saw the future shift in front of them. For the first time, their ultimate weapon failed. Not by force, by sacrifice. The human ship drifted, torn and silent. But the galaxy was no longer afraid. The truth was clear. Humanity had not been hiding because it was weak. It had been waiting, because when the galaxy needed someone to say no, humans were ready to pay the cost. The Dominion did not collapse after the failure of its ultimate weapon. It adapted. Empires survived by learning, not by feeling shame. The High Command sealed its borders and silenced internal doubt. Propaganda flooded controlled space. The human ship was called a trick, a lie, a single lucky strike. The galaxy was warned that worse would come. Meanwhile, Dominion fleets regrouped. New commanders took control. Old doctrines were burned. This war would not be won with fear alone. It would be won with destruction. They chose a new target. Not Earth. Earth was too symbolic, too watched. Instead, the Dominion struck a smaller system, a world that had openly supported the Galactic Council. A message would be sent. The attack was fast, brutal, total. The world's defenses collapsed in hours. Cities burned. Signals went silent. The galaxy watched in horror. This was the Dominion's answer to resistance. Fear returned. Some systems withdrew support. Others hesitated. Unity cracked. The human ship was still drifting near the trapped Dominion weapon. It was damaged. Systems were failing. The captain knew repairs would take time they did not have. A second signal appeared. Weak. Human. The captain looked up. Long-range sensors confirmed it. Another human vessel was waking up. Far from Sol. Hidden. Silent until now. The Dominion detected it too. They redirected fleets immediately. They would not allow another Guardian to reach full power. The second human ship began to move. Slowly at first. Then faster. Its energy signature matched the first. Similar, but not identical. Evolution. The galaxy held its breath. The Dominion fleets intercepted it, near a dead star system. They attacked without warning. The second ship raised shields and returned fire. The battle was violent and fast. This ship fought differently, more aggressive, less patient. Dominion losses mounted quickly, but numbers still mattered. The second ship took damage. Shields weakened, hull fractured. The captain of the first ship watched from afar. He understood the plan. The second ship was not meant to win. It was meant to draw fire. Time was bought. The trapped Dominion weapon destabilized. Holding space frozen was not sustainable. If released, it would explode. The captain made a decision, a final one. He ordered his ship forward. With failing engines, the ship pushed itself into the heart of the frozen zone. The structure around the weapon began to collapse inward. The Dominion realized too late. They tried to pull back. It was not enough. The human ship overloaded its core, not in anger, not in revenge. In purpose, the explosion was silent but absolute. Space folded in on itself. The weapon vanished. The surrounding fleets were torn apart. The human ship was gone. The galaxy went still. No message followed. No signal. Just absence. The second human ship felt it. Systems registered the loss. The captain of that ship closed his eyes for a moment, then continued the fight. With the ultimate weapon destroyed, Dominion morale shattered. Council fleets surged forward. Battles erupted across multiple systems. This time, the Dominion faced resistance everywhere. They fought back hard. The war was not over, but the balance had changed. On Earth, people mourned a ship they had never met. Memorials formed without orders. Humanity understood the cost that had been paid quietly. Without glory, the second human ship broke through the Dominion blockade and jumped away. It did not return to Earth. It vanished into deep space. The war required more than symbols now. It required endurance. The Dominion High Command issued one final decree. Total war. No restraint. No mercy. If they could not rule the galaxy, they would burn it. The galaxy braced itself. The Council fleets prepared defenses. Around key systems, civilian evacuations began. Old enemies fought side by side. Fear remained, but it no longer controlled them. And somewhere beyond known space, more human signals began to wake. Not fleets, not armies, guardians, silent watchers stepping into the light. One by one, the galaxy understood the truth at last. Humanity was not entering the war to conquer. When the Empire struck back, humans answered by refusing to disappear. The galaxy felt the loss of the first human ship like a wound. It had not belonged to any world, yet it had stood for all of them. When it vanished, silence followed. Some believed hope had died with it. Others believed the opposite. Sacrifice changed things. It forced choices. The Dominion believed the loss proved their strength. Their broadcasts declared victory. They showed images of burning worlds and shattered fleets. They promised that resistance would end the same way. Fear was pushed back into the stars, but fear no longer moved alone. Anger walked beside it. Systems that had once bowed quietly now remembered the human ship's final stand. They remembered that one vessel had forced the Dominion to bleed, and they remembered that it had not stood alone at the end. The second human ship moved through deep space, damaged but alive. It avoided major lanes. It did not seek glory. It sought position. Signals from across the galaxy reached it. Not orders, requests, warnings, gratitude. The ship did not answer. It continued its mission. The Galactic Council reformed itself, not as rulers, but as coordinators. Shared defense networks were built. Old borders faded. Trust was thin, but necessity was strong. The Dominion launched its largest offensive yet. Multiple fleets moved at once, striking border systems, testing defenses. They wanted chaos. They wanted to break unity before it hardened. Then something unexpected happened. Human signals appeared. Not loud, not aggressive. Quiet confirmations, one after another. Hidden stations powered up. Long silent beacons came online. Deep space platforms revealed themselves. Humanity had been watching from everywhere. Not a fleet, not an invasion, a network. The second human ship reached a contested system where a Dominion fleet pressed hard against Council defenders. The battle was desperate. Losses mounted. Retreat seemed near. The human ship arrived without announcement. It slipped into the battle zone and fired. Precision strikes cut through Dominion command vessels. The tide shifted instantly. The Dominion fleet panicked. This was not supposed to happen. Another Guardian had joined the war, but the human ship did not stay. After disabling key targets, it jumped away. The message was clear. Humans were not here to fight every battle. They were here to make resistance possible. Throughout the galaxy, similar moments occurred. Dominion offensives stalled. Communications failed. Supply lines vanished, always followed by rumors. A human signal, a quiet intervention, then nothing. The Dominion High Command struggled to respond. They could not target what they could not find. Every attempt to trap a Guardian failed. Human technology predicted their moves before they made them. Fear began to spread inside the Dominion. Not among civilians, among commanders. They realized the truth too late. Humanity had not prepared for one war. It had prepared for any war. Patience was their weapon. On Earth, the truth finally became public. Archives opened. Humanity's long silence was explained. Guardians were not soldiers. They were caretakers, built to act only when the galaxy faced extinction. Their existence was a promise, not a threat. Human leaders addressed the world together. No flags behind them, no claims of leadership, only words. We will stand, but we will not rule. The galaxy listened. Battles continued. Losses mounted. This war was not clean. It was not easy, but it was no longer hopeless. The Dominion made a critical mistake. They concentrated their remaining power for a final push. One massive fleet, one crushing blow, end resistance everywhere at once. The second human ship detected the movement. So did dozens of hidden human platforms. Signals passed silently between them. For the first time, humanity acted together, not as conquerors, not as saviors, as allies. When the Dominion fleet entered the trap, space changed. Fields activated, routes closed, systems shut down. The fleet found itself surrounded by nothing visible, yet unable to move. Then human ships appeared. Not many. Enough they did not speak. They did not threaten. They disabled engines, weapons, communications. The Dominion fleet was captured without a single world destroyed. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. The Dominion had not been defeated by force alone. It had been outplanned. The second human ship sent a message to the Galactic Council. It is time. For the first time in generations, the Council did not meet in fear. They met with resolve. Humanity had never been alone in this war. But now, the galaxy was no longer alone either. The galaxy changed after the captured Dominion fleet. For the first time, the Empire did not strike back immediately. Silence spread across controlled systems, not the quiet of fear, but the quiet of uncertainty. The Dominion had always answered resistance with fire. Now it hesitated. Worlds that had knelt long ago began to speak openly. Some demanded justice. Others asked forgiveness from those they had abandoned. Old wounds reopened. The cost of survival became impossible to ignore. The Galactic Council faced a choice it had avoided for generations. It could not simply replace the Dominion as another ruler. The human message was clear. Power without restraint would repeat the same cycle. Human representatives did not sit above the Council. They stood beside it. They offered no demands, only warnings. If you kneel again, they said, you teach the next tyrant how to rule. The Dominion finally responded. A formal transmission echoed across the galaxy. .com/controlled. Dangerous. They offered peace. The terms were simple. The Council would disband. Resistance would end. The Dominion would spare the captured fleets and halt further destruction. Kneel again, and the galaxy would survive. The offer split the Council. Some worlds were exhausted. Their cities burned. Their people suffered. Peace at any cost was tempting. Others remembered the burned systems, the erased species. They remembered how kneeling had led here. The second human ship observed silently. It did not advise. It did not pressure. This choice belonged to the galaxy. The Council requested proof of Dominion goodwill. In response, the Dominion released images, prison camps, enslaved populations, threats disguised as mercy. The message was clear. Peace meant obedience. The vote was called. System by system, worlds chose. Some knelt again. Fear was stronger than hope for them. Others refused, not because they believed victory was certain, but because surrender had already cost too much. The galaxy fractured along lines of courage and fear. The Dominion acted immediately. Fleets moved toward the worlds that refused. This time, they did not hide their intent. An example would be made. The human network activated. The second human ship and several platforms moved into position, not to stop the attack completely, to slow it, to buy time. Civilians evacuated. Defenses strengthened. Council fleets took positions they would never have dared before. Battles erupted across multiple systems. Not clean, not heroic, desperate. The Dominion fought with cruelty. They targeted population centers, supply hubs, hope itself. Humans intervened only when extinction was near. Each intervention saved millions. Each delay cost lives. The Guardians were not gods. They could not be everywhere, and the galaxy learned a painful truth. Kneeling early had not saved them from war. It had only delayed it, making the price higher when resistance finally came. On one world, a former Dominion governor ordered surrender as fleets approached. His people refused. They shut down his commands and prepared to fight. The governor fled. The world stood. The Dominion fleet arrived, and then stalled. Human fields disrupted their approach. Council ships engaged. The battle was brutal. The world survived. Barely. News of the stand spread fast. Other worlds followed. Small victories piled up. Not enough to end the war. Enough to change its direction. The Dominion High Command realized their mistake. Threats no longer worked. Fear had limits. They needed to end the war completely. They prepared their final protocol. Self-destruction on a massive scale. If they could not rule the galaxy, they would scar it beyond recovery. The plan was detected by the human network instantly. Dozens of systems were marked for destruction. Entire regions would burn. The second human ship sent a warning to the Council. This will end everything. The Council did not hesitate. They authorized full resistance. No more half measures. No more delays. The galaxy chose to stand together, knowing the cost would be terrible. The Dominion initiated the protocol. Systems began to collapse. Stars destabilized. The end approached. And humanity moved, not as guardians, not as watchers. As participants. human ships and platforms revealed themselves fully for the first time. Still not countless, but enough to block, enough to stop the first wave of destruction. The galaxy watched in fear and awe. The cost of kneeling had been centuries of silence. The cost of standing would be war, but now, the choice had been made, and there would be no kneeling again. The galaxy held its breath. For the first time, resistance was not a whisper in the dark. It was a roar. Planets that had once knelt, now fired weapons, launched fleets, and activated defenses. The Dominion had ruled through fear for centuries. Fear no longer answered them. Rage, courage, and hope surged instead. The second human ship moved through the war zones, damaged, battle-scarred but precise. It did not fire indiscriminately. It targeted command ships, energy core, and weapon arrays. Every strike was calculated to save lives, not destroy them. Across the galaxy, human platforms emerged from hiding. They activated fields, shields, and long-range disruptors. Fleets that had waited decades for freedom now had a chance. The Dominion struck back with everything. Starkillers, command carriers, fleets trained for centuries, all unleashed in a single sweep. The sky burned. Space bent under the weight of weapons. Civilizations watched their greatest fears unfold. Entire systems fell into chaos. Worlds that had stood idle for decades now fought. Pilots with minimal training flew aged ships against Dominion destroyers. Engineers improvised weapons with scraps. Entire populations armed themselves. Fear had taught them survival. Courage taught them resistance. The first human ship, though lost months before, was remembered everywhere. Its sacrifice had inspired the galaxy. Now, the memory became action. Citizens, pilots, and soldiers moved as if guided by the will of humanity itself. The Dominion did not expect this. Their fleets were trained for obedience, not unpredictability. Their commanders barked orders, but confusion spread. Systems failed to respond. Ships collided. Targeting arrays jammed. Human fields from platforms and ships disrupted everything. Confident arrogance turned into panic. Dominion soldiers, raised to believe victory was guaranteed, now faced fleets they could not predict. Ships were destroyed, not by numbers, but by planning, not by luck, but by resolve. The second human ship communicated with nothing but signals. It coordinated fleets, blocked attacks, and created opportunities. Where humans acted, the Dominion fell. Where humans did not, the galaxy acted alone. It was a lesson in strategy, patience, and courage. The battle lasted for hours, days in some regions. Worlds previously hidden joined suddenly. Communication networks linked together. A planet would fire, then another, then a fleet. The Dominion was being overwhelmed, not by humans alone, but by the galaxy they had ruled for centuries. Each victory came at a cost. Entire planets suffered. Starports were destroyed. Cities burned. Countless lives were lost. But unlike in the past, those losses were not for submission. They were for survival, for freedom. Each human guardian acted as a fulcrum. One ship could protect dozens of systems. One platform could hold a star for hours. Humans showed the galaxy that strategic action was worth far more than fear. The Dominion commander realized the truth. Their greatest mistake had been underestimating humanity. They had believed humans would kneel, submit, or hide. They had believed fear was enough. They had been wrong. Entire fleets now faced a choice: retreat or die. Some commanders fled, abandoning their ships. Others fought to the last, holding stubbornly to the idea of absolute control. Both approaches failed. The Galactic Council, inspired by human example, acted with precision. Worlds that had never trained together now coordinated strikes. Supply lines were cut. Energy core destabilized. Command signals jammed. The Dominion had lost control before the first major fleet engagement had ended. In the center of the war, the second human ship moved toward the largest Dominion command carrier. Hundreds of smaller ships converged to protect it. Humans ignored the swarm. Calculated attacks tore through shields, disabling critical systems. Dominion soldiers panicked as the flagship was crippled. Without the carrier, coordination collapsed. Confusion spread across fleets like wildfire. Ships drifted. Weapons misfired. Energy cores overloaded. Entire fleets were neutralized in minutes. It was not magic. It was planning, courage, and human resolve. The galaxy watched. Fear and hope collided. Worlds that had never fired a weapon now did. Systems that had obeyed for centuries now acted independently. Humans were not leading them. Humans were showing them how to fight. The battle reached its peak when the second human ship fired a long-range pulse into a massive Dominion battleship. The ship exploded in silence. The wave of destruction was precise. Nearby fleets were stunned. Dominion morale collapsed. The Empire realized that its rule over the galaxy was ending, and it had no answers. The humans did not celebrate. They did not broadcast their victory. They moved on to the next threat, protecting civilians, blocking attacks, and keeping systems alive. Their purpose was not conquest. It was preservation. It was showing the galaxy how to survive without kneeling. The Dominion fleet, shattered and leaderless, attempted a retreat, but resistance was everywhere. Council fleets surrounded them. Systems fired from behind. Escape routes were blocked. Humanity and the galaxy had learned too much. Fear no longer worked, and punishment could not silence action. The first victory of the day had been humanity's presence. The second was that the galaxy had learned to fight together. The Dominion's greatest weapon had been obedience. It had been hope lost to fear. Both had been reclaimed. In the aftermath, the second human ship drifted among the survivors. Systems repaired what they could. Fires burned where they could not, but the tide had turned. Humanity had shown the galaxy that kneeling was not required. Freedom was possible. The cost had been high, but the message was clear. The day the galaxy fought back would be remembered for generations, not because humans had led every battle, but because they had shown the way. Every star system had a chance. Every species could act. Every world could stand. And the Dominion could no longer rely on fear to rule the stars. The Dominion had fallen, but it had left scars. Entire systems were destroyed. Civilizations lost. Planets burned. The galaxy had survived, but survival came at a cost. Yet, among the ruins, something new had awakened. Courage, unity, the knowledge that kneeling was a choice, not a law. Humanity had taught the stars to say no. The second human ship drifted near Earth, engines glowing faintly. Its hull was scarred, systems strained. It had fought battles no one else could. It had sacrificed, guided, and protected, and it had survived. The galaxy watched it silently, knowing that its presence had changed everything. No fleet, no empire, no ruler could erase what had been learned. The Galactic Council convened on a neutral world. Leaders from hundreds of systems arrived. Species that had once hated each other now sat together. Fear was no longer the reason for obedience. Shared experience and resolve were. The humans did not sit in the center. They stood among the delegates. Their message was simple. Freedom is not given. It is earned. Obedience is never required. The council deliberated. Some worlds wanted retribution against the Dominion. Others wanted reconstruction. All agreed on one thing. Kneeling again would be impossible. The galaxy had learned. Humanity had not conquered with weapons. They had conquered understanding, trust, and hope. The Dominion remnants tried to regroup. Small fleets gathered. Commanders clung to authority, and propaganda was unleashed. The humans are deceivers, they said. Resistance is meaningless. But the galaxy no longer believed. Systems that had hidden for decades now rose openly. Supply lines were cut. Intelligence networks shared data freely. Every world could see the truth. The Dominion could be resisted, and humanity had shown them how. The second human ship moved once more. This time, not to fight, but to guide. Signals activated long-hidden human platforms. Guardians across the galaxy came online, creating safe zones for civilians and fleets alike. The Dominion could no longer hide. It could no longer attack with impunity. The galaxy learned quickly. Fleets coordinated across sectors. Civilian planets defended themselves. Systems that had never trained together now shared weapons, tactics, and intelligence. Humanity had not done it for glory. They had done it to teach the galaxy to survive, and the lesson had been learned. Battles continued. Smaller Dominion forces attacked, hoping to reclaim lost pride. They were repelled every time, not by a single ship, but by united worlds. Coordination replaced fear. Planning replaced panic. The Dominion could destroy cities, but it could not destroy hope. The second human ship transmitted one final signal to the Council and all free systems. The galaxy is yours to defend. We will guide, we will watch, but you must stand. Do not kneel, do not forget. The message echoed across light. Worlds that had survived now understood responsibility. The Guardians would not fight every battle. Every species must rise when needed. Humanity had built hope, but hope required action. the Dominion made one last desperate attempt. Its largest fleet moved to strike a core human platform. The second ship responded, leading defensive measures. The battle was fierce, brutal, and costly, but the galaxy fought alongside the Guardians. The Dominion was repelled. Their dream of subjugation was shattered forever. The Council recognized the cost. Memorials were created for lost worlds and lost lives. They acknowledged that resistance had never been free. Humanity's guardians had given them the chance, but the galaxy had to claim it themselves. The second human ship remained near Sol. Earth watched, but it did not control. Humans had not come to rule. They had come to ensure the galaxy remembered what it meant to resist. Lessons were taught quietly, patiently, without conquest. The galaxy understood. It could defend itself. It could unite. It could survive without kneeling again. The Dominion retreated to the outer voids. Their fleets broken, their authority meaningless. They existed, but no longer ruled. Fear had failed them. Humanity had succeeded without ever claiming dominion. Only the lessons, only the guidance, remained. The stars were quiet now, but not peaceful. The galaxy had learned that vigilance was necessary. Humanity had reminded the stars that they could fight, that they could resist, and that no empire could command obedience forever. The age of fear was over. The age of vigilance and courage had begun. And somewhere in the depths of space, the human guardians drifted, silent watchers, scars of battle on their hulls, hearts of steel and resolve unbroken. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy with war. They had conquered it with defiance, and the galaxy would never forget.